Would I recommend moving to Australia in 2026? Honestly, yes, but it depends on you. For me, for example, I worked in FIFO and DIDO for a bit and I made 28,500 bucks in 2 months. Australia can give you a new life, good money and job opportunities, and a lot of nature and wildlife. But if you're coming unprepared, you can lose most of your money in a very quick time. In this video, I want to cover who it is for, who it is not for, what I would recommend doing when you come here as well. Australia is still a very good place to start because you get higher wages than in Europe. If you're a laborer, if you're doing housekeeping, cleaning, farming, you get enough money to have a good or decent life. Of course, there are job opportunities like FIFO, oil rigs and other stuff where you can earn even more while saving on food and accommodation in the meantime. Apart from that, you have a great lifestyle depending on where you live. You have good beaches, wildlife, nature, and it is very easy to meet other travelers or other people here. And it is an English-speaking country. So there isn't really a language barrier, you know? I think it's a good place to reset your life, to start from scratch. And if you're young, flexible and willing to work, this is a good place to be. In general, you can make a lot of money in a short period of time, but it is definitely not for everyone and you need to sacrifice certain stuff for it. Let's get to the money side of things. Australia is definitely a country that is paying a lot, but it isn't free. The rents are crazy. I've never paid so much for rent. Food is very expensive as well, groceries and eating out, transportation, car repairs and costs. Then you have bonds for your rent if you're moving somewhere in long term. Yeah, the first few weeks can burn through a lot of cash fairly quick, especially if you're going for a job that needs certain licenses and tickets, which actually most jobs do. Then you need to have a bit of money on the side for those as well. That's why it is very, very important that when you're arriving here, you don't come with no savings. That is a big no-no. It is important that you have enough for the licenses, tickets, rent, and food you need. Especially if you come here without an immediate job offer. For jobs, there are enough opportunities. Yes, you might need a bit of work experience for certain ones or certain tickets and licenses, but all the tickets and licenses are definitely manageable. It might take some time. Some jobs are definitely competitive, especially when it gets to oil rigs or FIFO and DIDO jobs. The location where you are matters a lot. I would say in Perth, WA, there are plenty of job opportunities for everyone. And of course, if you're willing to do something that isn't the most pleasurable, that is a bit uncomfortable, that isn't as easy as other jobs, there's a high likelihood that you earn more. Farm work, cleaning or construction in FIFO. It's not easy, it might be boring, it's hard, but of course then you earn more. Let's go to the housing for a bit. That is one of the biggest issues in my eyes. It is very hard to find a good deal in a decent area for not tons of money per week. And it can be actually hard at the beginning to find something. Even if you're in Airbnbs or hostels, it adds up and it's not cheap. Even hostels cost quite a bit per week. Getting a good accommodation is definitely not easy, but something you shouldn't skip. Like at some point, once you have certain things figured out, definitely look on Facebook Marketplace and Flatmate to look for some good rental options, you know. Another thing is definitely be prepared that you're sharing your house. So it's very competitive, something you have house viewings with lines and stuff like that. When it comes to visas and rules, that is a very important topic. There are different visas for different nations and different people. You have student visas, working holiday visas, tourist visas. It really depends on how you want to come here, what your goal is, if you want to study, more work. Keep in mind, there are age restrictions and nationality restrictions. So not everyone can get a visa. For a lot of nations, the age limit is 30 for working holiday visas at least. So definitely check that out on the official Home Affairs immigration website. Will be linked in the description anyway. Yeah, there are definitely rules, restrictions that you should check out and think of when you're coming here. Especially when you want the second or third working holiday visa, you need certain work in remote areas. So farm work, mining work, stuff like that. And you need to get in enough days so you're eligible for the next year. Not every job counts, just certain postal codes. That is something you definitely need to keep in mind. Who would I recommend Australia to? People who like adventure, people who like nature, wildlife, who like to explore the country, who like to have road trips or camp. That is a big thing here, camping and road trips. Everyone does it. If you're willing to work hard and maybe have a simple life at the beginning, but then transition into a better one later, you know what they get into in terms of being realistic and not following the social media dream that you see sometimes. And yes, it can be hard first. Yes, it might be a big transition, especially to meet people at the start. You know, you need to get into this. Who do I think Australia is not for? For people who don't have savings. Yes, I'm gonna say it again. For people who don't like beach vibes, nature, wildlife. For people who don't like to do basic work, especially that is needed for the second and third working holiday visa. You need to do some kind of remote work, which is often labor, and not all people are willing to do that. And for people who hate uncertainty, who are not accepting that the start might be a bit rough, that you might need to sacrifice on certain life standards at the beginning, because that is often part of it, you know. For people who think when they move into a different country that all their problems are solved. For people who are like very stressed and lonely, it can be a bit rough at the start, like I mentioned. So I would definitely recommend that you have a good baseline in general before you're coming here. That is important in my eyes. Here are the things I would recommend you doing when you come here. Definitely do a bit of research. Book certain stuff ahead. For example, if you know you're gonna arrive in Perth, look for an accommodation beforehand and book it, because it gets very competitive here. So plan ahead, watch some videos and guides, think about what jobs you could or want to do, where you want to live, where you want to go to, where you could see yourself going to. If you know you need licenses and tickets, which like I said, most people do, and maybe book those courses ahead of time, you know. Well, the first day I was here in Australia, I was already doing licenses and tickets. Sometimes it might be better to go to the country, check it out if you like it for a couple of weeks and months, and then decide if you fully commit to come here, you know. If you fully commit immediately before even being here at all, that could be a big mistake and an expensive mistake. So I would recommend checking it out first and then going for a full commitment. Yes, a car is in certain regions very beneficial. For example, here in Western Australia, a car is necessary. So check out where you're gonna be. If it's Sydney or Melbourne and you work in the city, you don't need a car. But if you're in Perth and you might need a car for different sites and constructions, a car might be necessary. My final verdict is, yes, it is a great opportunity to come to Australia, work here, live here, meet the people and have a great time. But I just want to kill the fantasy. It isn't often as if you see it on social media where you find a job like this, you have great accommodation, everything works out perfectly and you earn a shit ton of money. No, that's not how it is. It's not easy and it takes a bit of effort to get things done and to figure out the system basically. It is a great opportunity and for the right person, it is amazing. But it can get very expensive very quick if you're not coming prepared. Apart from that, I made a video about how to get into FIFO if you're interested in that. Thank you very much for watching and I hope I see you in the next one. See you there.